Hello, hello. We're here at our last unit of seventh grade, and we are on the American Revolution in our last unit. So, our first project is a song analysis. So, breaking up. I'm sure you haven't been in too many big, deep relationships so far, but breaking up can be hard. It can be, even if you're just a friendship falls apart, or you're leaving a job, which I know you haven't done yet, but is going to happen in your life, or a personal relationship. It's hard to make a decision to move away from something or someone that you have been attached to for a long period of time. And it's not easy. And there are a lot of things that typically go into a decision that a person makes to break up with something or someone and make a change like that in their life. So by the mid-1700s, the relationship between the British and colonial America was pretty tense. Up until then, they were buddies. They had settled here. Even settlers from other countries, the Swedes and the French and the Germans, being a part of sort of the British Empire, everyone sort of felt okay about that. But by the mid-1700s, they were politically, economically, and socially really starting to separate from one another. And the colonists they were unsure what to do. They were British citizens and would be considered traitors for even thinking about leaving the British Empire. And yet, at the same time, they were feeling like it really wasn't a good situation. And if you've ever been somewhere where you kind of know it's not going to work out, it's not good for you, then it is hard. But breaking up is sometimes the best thing that can happen. Maybe it's a job that just isn't the right fit for you, and you just need to move on. And so that's what we're looking at, breaking up with the British. So your task, you'll see down here in red, is that you will apply historical evidence to some song lyrics. You're going to analyze how a song could reflect the strained relationship between England, or the British, and colonial America leading up to the American Revolution. So here are your instructions. Pick one of these songs. There's a whole list of them right here. In the first left column, you can watch a video if you want. It's just obviously the person performing the song, and then the lyrics run across the screen. On the right side of the chart are just written lyrics. You can play the song on the site as well, but it's not a video. So you can just follow along with the lyrics in a written. So these are all the same. You're only picking one. You want to think about what song you think, for you, best shows the relationship, the strained relationship between England and the colonies. Now, if you really don't like any of those songs, and I'm sorry, I did my best to try to find as many as I could, and you have some other song you think is going to be better, by all means, please send me a message, contact me, and say, hey, I'd like to use this song. And I'll listen to it, and I'll see if I think it will work. I had to be careful. I wanted to make sure we were picking songs that were school appropriate and things that I thought would be helpful. So you're going to pick one of these songs. Listen carefully to the song. Read through the lyrics. You can dance along if you want. I spent a lot of time listening to these songs. And then you're going to pick out a minimum of 4 lines from the song that you think best connect to the relationship. They have to be unique. So you can't use, like, I Will Survive, for example, is one verse of the song I Will Survive. You could use that, but you can't use that more than once. So if you use a line, you can only use it once, and then you have to find 3 other different ones. Then, once you have your 4 lines, you're going to go back into your Odyssey Where lessons, and I listed them right here. And you are going to decide which of these, and it could be more than one, what historical evidence can you connect to that particular line, and how the line could be used to explain the relationship between the British and the colonists. So you don't need to use all of these examples that I gave here. I just gave you a bunch of them. You don't need to use them all, but you will need to use some of these to explain your 4 lines. All right? And then you'll turn it in. So here's an example of what you'll do. So I chose the song Yesterday, which actually isn't a great song to use, so I didn't put it in our song list. But the Beatles, one of the lines from the song Yesterday is right here. Yesterday, all my troubles seemed so far away. Now it looks as though they're here to stay. So that's the line I chose. I just copied and pasted it right off of the website where I found the lyrics. And then you'll see down here, I explain how I believe these lyrics apply to the relationship between the British and the colonists. So I talk about how yesterday is like the way their relationship used to be. And it was a good relationship and it was pretty friendly. And the troubles seemed far away because England was far away from the colonies. And so the colonies felt like they had sort of this independence and freedom, even though they politically didn't. But now you'll see the second part is now it looks as though they're here to stay. So now I applied that to the relationship by the time the French and Indian War ended in 1763. Their relationship was just kind of, the problems were really starting to become problems, and they were here to stay. And so that's how I applied it. And I used the French and Indian War as sort of my historical evidence. So that's what you'll do. So you'll come down here, and here is what you will fill in. So right here, you're going to copy and paste from the top. What is the song you selected? You can copy it right out of the chart that I put at the top. You're going to copy and paste here your first song line from the lyrics. And then down here, you will type in your explanation. How does this apply to at least one of the historical evidence from the instructions? All right, and make sure you can't use the same thing more than once. So you can't in here talk about the Stamp Act and then use the Stamp Act again for line number 2. All right, you're going to need to use different historical evidence to go along with different lines. So you'll do each of your 4 song lines right here. All right, this is just an extra one, all right, in case you needed it. All right, so you'll do this, and then you will, actually, I'll get rid of this. I don't know why this is here. Let's get rid of that. Maybe. I can't even get rid of it. Anyway, I'll figure it out. So you'll fill this in, and then you're going to turn in this Google Doc, and then you're finished. And I hope you have a fun time with your breakup songs. I hope it doesn't make you always think when you hear the song about the breakup between the British and the colonies. But I hope you guys are doing well. Let me know if you need any help. I'm happy to help you. Take care. Bye.